And welcome to Impact 2023, our continuing conversation, where we talk about all different topics from race, current events, religion, everything. And we talk about it from a religious standpoint, so pretty convenient to talk about religion. But this is our continuing conversation. And as always, we ask that you feel free to type in your questions and your comments into the comment section and join the conversation. This is a conversation. That means it's two ways. You speak through your typing in of your comments. I speak by answering your comments and your questions. And as always, we just invite you to join in on the conversation. It makes everything more interesting, and I definitely want to hear what you have to say. We're going to hop right into it as we do always. Um, as a reminder, kind of, we know that there's a lot of things going on right now. It's amazing when you sit back and you think about all of the current events that are coming together at one time, whether it be here in the United States, all the craziness that we have going on, whether it be within our government, whether it be within the social media aspect, and celebrity aspect, whether it be the business world. You know, we haven't touched on it here, but you have strikes in different industries all across the country going on right now, where workers are striking, demanding more pay, demanding more benefits, demanding whatever. It's been just a lot of stuff. And then you can go international and see all of the things that we have going on. Of course, we know about what's going on in the Middle East. Of course, we know what's going on in Ukraine. And you know what? There's stuff going on in some other places that we're just not talking about, or just not as big in the media. But there's things going on everywhere. And with all of that, we have plenty to talk about. And we're not talking about any of that today. We're talking about something a little different today. Because this is the time of year where people go to football games. And this is the time of year where people go and they tailgate and they eat all of this good food. This is the time of year when basketball is starting back up and people are going to go and you're going to get your nachos and you're going to get all of this stuff. And as you can see, I'm talking a lot about food. And why am I talking about food? Because that's a part of this whole big thing that we're going to talk about today. And that is your body, taking care of yourself. I was just talking that I'm going to go get a physical tomorrow. So that's me doing that. Other people have been monitoring their health, monitoring their diet, exercising, doing different things like that. And we're talking about this because it's a common thought process that people sit back and say, well, you got to take care of your temple. But do we ever really sit back and talk about what is our responsibility and our role and responsibility as people of faith, Christians, people of God? What is our role and responsibility to take care of ourselves? Is that something that we should concentrate on? You have some people saying that you have to, you take care of your mind, body, and soul. It all works together. It's all a thing that works together, and that's a big responsibility. And there's other people, man, never exercise, never go to the doctor, watching their weight. They'll watch it grow or shrink, but they're not watching it as putting any participation into the process. Eat whatever they want to do, or eat whatever they want to eat. Just whatever. Just, I don't care. I'm doing whatever. I got one body, whatever. I'm just going to do whatever. What is our responsibility? Like, do we have a responsibility? Okay, if we believe that God gave us this body, is there some sort of obligation that we have to take care of? In a similar fashion, if somebody gave you a vehicle, somebody gave you a car or a nice truck or whatever, you would feel some kind of obligation to take care of it. You would be irresponsible if you didn't change the oil or make sure that the tires are good or take it and put gas in it, and try not to jack it up by putting in the gas it's not supposed to have. Maybe trying to keep it presentable, keep it clean. Not that everything has to be perfect, but from time to time, you wouldn't want to, as people say, dog it out. Right? So that's what we would do if somebody let us borrow a car, even if somebody let us have a car. I think back to myself. If I sit here and I give somebody a present, and I'm not a baller, if it stretched me a little bit to be able to give this present, particularly, I'll give a present to my son. And like if he wanted a gaming system, and as everybody out here knows, gaming systems aren't cheap. You're talking hundreds of dollars, if not even more. And you give him a gaming system, you come home, you watch your son playing or your daughter playing, But for me, watching my son play with the system, and I see him chuck the controller across the room, or get angry and hit it or kick it, that's going to affect me a little bit. I'm like, oh, I put some hard-earned money into that to give to you. It's yours. You can do what you want with it. But man, I took some time to get you that. I would hope that you would treat it well. I would hope that it would last a little while. I would hope that you wouldn't prematurely break it down. And so the question, the comment, the discussion is in the same vein. God has, you can say, gifted us this body, or we're borrowing this body. However you want to say it, is there a responsibility the same way to kind of take care of it, to make sure that we maintain it, to make sure that we keep it up? Are we doing, and we're not talking about sin or non-sin, but are we doing wrong if we're not going to take care of what God has given us? Whether it's, you feel like it's a great body, like a superstar athlete, like a Serena Williams or LeBron James body, or if it's, a body that has all your fingers and toes, or maybe you have a different type of body where you don't have everything that everybody else has. Your body's a little different. Whatever type it is it our responsibility to take care of what we have? And are we wrong if we're just cavalier with it, just tearing it all up, just putting whatever we want into our body? Whether it be just being reckless with food, whether it be drugs, alcohol, whatever, by being extreme and over the top with any of those things, whether we are just not exercising, not doing anything and just letting it go to waste in a sense, by not going to the doctor and checking up and doing those things that we know that we're supposed to do. Is there a responsibility that we have? And again, you hear people talk all the time. They talk about their temple and taking care of their temple. I'll say this. I always think of your body and your health as it's not for you, it's for those around you. And so this is kind of deviating a little bit from the conversation, but this is how I look at it. The reason that I feel like people should go and get checked out, the reason that I feel like people should exercise, the reason I feel like people should watch what they eat and things like that in a certain manner, is because of the people who count on you, or the people who you are obligated to. For example, if you have children, you should take care of yourself so that you can take care of your children. If you have a spouse, you should take care of yourself so that you and your spouse can have the most amount of time together and take care of one another. If you have people relying on you, people who are connected to you, then you should do certain things so that you can provide for them. And I say this not because you're going to live longer or live forever, but in the example of kids, man, you should, I think we should, I sit back and I look at my kids, and I'm an older parent. If I didn't, at least take care of myself a little bit, when these kids are running around and they want to play, I wouldn't be able to do anything. Wouldn't be able to do anything. It is not cool to be sitting there falling out of breath. Not because you're older, just because you ain't taking care of yourself and your kid just running around. You can't do nothing. And so there's a little bit of, you can't even physically take care. And so that's how I kind of look at, sometimes the physical aspect of it. But how can you do the work? If you go to church, how can you do the work of the church? How can you do the work of the Lord if you physically can't do the work of the Lord? And it's not because of some ailment. It's because of, I'm not going to do any effort. I'm not going to eat right. I'm not going to, comment. Many people believe and embrace the notion that their body, even their life, belongs to them. They do with their bodies and their lives what they want. The word teaches us that the earth is the Lord's and the fullness therefore, the earth and they that dwell within it. Yeah, so if everything belongs to the Lord, then we have to treat it a certain way. And here's the thing. There's a lot of people who believe in that laissez-faire type of lifestyle that, you got one body, one whatever, it's mine, I need to have fun, do whatever, blah, 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 blah. And I definitely believe that you should have fun and enjoy yourself and do the things that you would like to do. Um, but I do think that there's some responsibility there. I mean, as we all know, the difference between being a kid and being an adult is adults have responsibilities. So I think there's a little bit of a responsibility there to everybody that's around, and to the things that you're connected with. The Army does it well. The military does it well. Armed forces, however you want to do that, they do it well. You know, before you can even go out here and try to do all of the different things that they do, you know, there's a baseline of physical activity that you need to get to. You know, you go through basic training and you need basic activities, and not just the military. There's a bunch of different places that do that. That's one of the great things about sports and kids when they do sports, or younger people, not even necessarily kids, younger people, because they get into that routine of where they're physically working on themselves and mentally working on themselves. You often see that kids who have extracurricular activities that are physical do better in the classroom as well. You look at even in the corporate environment, you see a lot of the people who are able to put in a good amount of hours and a good amount of work. You catch them at 6 a.m., 5 a.m., they in the gym before they even come and start doing work, because you take care of your physical body, and everything else kind of falls into play. But I think there's a responsibility there. I'll talk about Reverend Cox and Reverend Cox, who's as a reminder, it does will be Thursday Thirst. Reverend Cox has put in some effort to make sure that he eats right and eats well, and what he's been able to show is that, you know, he feels great. So when you're able to feel great, you can do more. And I think maybe that's where we kind of line ourselves with. I think there is a responsibility there. I think the responsibility is that we need to be able to be in the position to be able to do whatever we're asked to do. And so in order to be ready, you know, in order to be ready whatever the task may be, you need to be ready. And in order to be ready, your body has to be ready. And I don't think that it has to be anything great. I'm not telling everybody, all right, don't eat meat, or, you know, don't eat whatever, or, you know, become a vegetarian, or make sure that you are on a specific diet, or your body mass index is some sort of perfect scenario. No, the basics. The basics. Don't eat McDonald's every single day if you have the finances to do differently. Go to the doctor if you have insurance or have the finances to get it done. Just so that you can be ready to take care of those in your vicinity, your family, and whoever else may rely on you, but also ready that when there's an opportunity to do something for the greater good, do something for the church, do something for the Lord, do something for other people, that you physically can do it, that you physically can step up and do the things you need to do. So to me, I do believe that there's a responsibility. I think that it's if you want to call yourself a Christian, if we want to call ourselves Christians, but we don't put ourselves in a situation where we can physically do anything because of our own doing, then we are a Christian who can't put in any work, physical work. There's some other things that we can do, but we can't put in any physical work. And I think that that's something where we're doing ourselves a disservice, a significant disservice. There's a lot of things around it. There's a lot of things around it. You know, when I was talking this through with some folk, and I was thinking about this. One of the main things that comes up is, you know, being able to physically take care of yourself is a luxury. It is something that is afforded to those who have the time, the money. You know, if you want to go to the gym or do some activities, join a rec league or join the YMCA, at the end of the day, you have to have some money. To eat right, it costs more. It is cheap to go eat some stuff with all of these different types of dyes and in other ingredients inside of it. You go to Whole Foods, you're gonna be paying a lot more. You go to one of these fancy places that cooks all natural grass-fed beef and all of this, you know, free range chicken and wild caught salmon. That stuff costs a lot of money. And so it is clear understanding that being able to take care of yourself is a luxury, but it's also a luxury in the sense of if you are struggling and if you're going through the process, you don't have the ability to stop and think like, all right, what do I need to do for my physical health? So very aware that it's a luxury, but a lot of us have the ability to do some luxurious things. A lot of us have been on vacations, and if you have a vehicle or you have some of this stuff, then you have the opportunities to take care of these luxuries. And so take a little bit of time to put into that luxury, a little bit of time to put into your physical health so that you will be ready. You'll be ready. I mean, that's just what it is. I think we have an obligation to be ready. We have to be ready. How you treat yourself impacts more than just you. Yes, it can and does affect others. Should your family have the responsibility to take care of you because you didn't take care of yourself? Yeah. I think that's a good one. And that's the one that's important. There's a big difference what we're talking about between, getting sick. There's a big difference when we're talking about between just getting older, the natural things of going on in life versus something that happens to you because you're just not doing anything. Because you don't want to do any of the responsible things that that you're supposed to do. So there's a big difference there. There's a big difference there. That burden or that responsibility to take care of people when they're sick, hurt, down, or whatever. That's great. That's something that we all should look to do and have no problem doing it. But that same burden to take care of people who are just being irresponsible or being reckless, we're still all going to step up to the plate and do it. It's different. It's different in the sense of, why would you want to do that to people? Because you're right. How you treat yourself does impact other people. So if you make some very poor choices, you're not going to just impact yourself. You're going to impact all of those around you who are going to jump at the opportunity to take care of you because that's what we do. And so we're all going to be a burden on somebody at some point in time. I mean, we all get sick. We all get hurt. We all go down. And so this is not a scenario where we're not going to fall into those categories. It's just that, hey, let's just do a couple of things here and there to make sure that we're the strongest that we can be for the longest that we can be so that we can do the most that we can do. And then there's some other good reasons that but I think that's a very good comment there that, how you treat yourself just doesn't affect you. It affects the whole community around you, those who care about you. It affects everyone in that particular group. And so that's where we are. This is not the last time. We're actually going to talk about this further in more detail. And I'll talk about it from a Black male perspective in a standpoint. There's some things, especially when it comes to Black males, where we are the group that goes to the doctor some of the least. We're one of the groups that goes to the doctor the least. And that's a history thing. That's a distrust thing. There's a lot of reasons why Black men choose not to go. And we historically, less so now, but we historically have been a population that dies off earlier than others. And you can draw a line between the two. There's a lot of other reasons there, but you can draw a line between the two. And unfortunately, what that means is that we get to pass down less to the next generation. Because the truth of the matter is, the longer that you're here, the more you get to impact the generation after you. And so if you live to be 50 years old, you can impact 50 years worth of knowledge. But if you live to be 80 years old, then you can impact 80 years of knowledge, and you may be able to impact 2 generations, whereas the 50-year-old could have only impacted 1. And so I think that there is a responsibility, especially when it comes to Black men, because we don't like going to the doctor. and I'm going to talk on behalf of all of us, we don't like to go to the doctor as much as some other groups. And justifiably so, because of some things that have happened in the past. The history of being a black male, especially here in the United States. We are justified in not wanting to go, but there is a responsibility for us to take care of ourselves in order that we can be the educators for the next generations as much as we can, because we need it. And so we need those to stick around as long as they can to impact as much of the next generations as they can. Today, many health insurance plans include services for fitness centers, even provide funds to purchase healthy foods. Yeah, that's all in there. And again, I'm not telling anyone to become like a health nut, like a health, no, we don't have to do all that. But the basics, I mean, come on. We know the ridiculous stuff we do. You can't sit at home and eat a whole entire chocolate cake to yourself. Like that, that's just not, come on. We can't avoid these big milestone checkups that we're supposed to do. You can't do that. We can't never do any physical activity other than walking from the bed to the couch. Like we can't be the laziest of the group or the most irresponsible. So little things like going to the fitness center or being able to purchase healthy foods because it's already in your insurance plan. Little things like that, we have to just do a little bit, just a little bit. And again, I think that's our responsibility, because this is not our body. You got it. You've had it for a long time. You've had it. You roll with it from when it was a little baby body to this adult body that we got. You roll through it through different pant sizes and shirt sizes and all of this stuff. But at the end of the day, it's not ours. This is a temple that God has given us to be able to do the things that He needs us and wants us to do. So we need to keep it up to a certain level so that we can continue to do that work. And if, eating a little differently, just a little bit differently, it's going to allow us to do that work, give us the energy to do more work, keep us in a good space, then we need to do that. The scripture teaches us to love our neighbor as we love ourselves. How much do you love yourself? That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's, do you not treat your body right because you don't really love your body, love yourself? And then that goes down a whole different ballgame of how some people treat their bodies because they don't really love themselves. And so, that's the place we can go. But that's it. That's our conversation. That's where what I have for consideration that we all need to think about. What is our responsibility to our body? What is our responsibility to this vessel that God gave us? And what is our responsibility to those around us who we affect and who rely on us, and we rely on them? So think about that. The next time you're sitting at the house and you're like, man, I'm not about to do no exercising, or the next time you're looking around for something, or what am I going to eat, or how many snacks am I going to eat? And you'd be like, well, maybe I should do just a little bit less or a little bit different because I'm taking care of my body. And to those of you who are out here doing the things that you're supposed to do, again, I talked about Reverend Cox. He's out here taking care of what goes in to his body. He's making sure he eats the right things and does the right things. To those of you who are doing that, please continue doing it. And I think you're doing great work there. There's a lot of people who have their ministry is, taking care of other people's body, physical health, mental health, everything. And so that is a powerful, powerful ministry that some people have. And so I think that's one thing to consider. So let's not, as we do the work, let's not forget that we also need to take care of ourselves as our temple, so that we can continue to do work. All right. That's it. It's kind of brief. You can compare it to some other times that we've been here. But straight to the point, I think it's important. And as this comment says, we have exercise classes here Thursday at 11. It falls right into what we're doing here. Exercise classes, yes, for adults, and we also have them for children as well. Kind of working that through because 11 o'clock they should be in school. But yeah, that, and I think a lot of other churches have it as well. But we have it here where we're definitely going to allow you and help you to take care of your body. And with that, that's a reminder. So 11 o'clock on Thursdays here at Monty Christian Ministries. And then after that, you can go home, get yourself something to eat, come on back. And at 7 on Thursdays, we have Thursday Thirst, our weekly Bible study. 10 o'clock on Sundays, we have worship service. And all of these offerings are available, YouTube, Facebook, but they are way better in person. And then, of course, we're here every week for Impact 2023. And don't forget, before you come to Impact 2023, take some time out between the 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock hour to pray with us. That's our weekly time of prayer. Not the whole entire hour, whatever time you want within that hour, come pray with us because we will be praying here at Monty Christian Ministries, and you can pray as well. And with that, thank you for joining us. Thank you for all the comments. Please continue to join us. And again, if you ever have any questions or comments that you don't want to put into the comment section or that come to you after the fact, feel free to give us a call, leave a message, or call, talk to us, and we will respond. All right. Thank everybody. Thank you, and have a good one.